In Football Manager, not everyone has the huge budgets to go out and sign the world's best Wonderkids, and often you're out there bargain hunting. Well, in today's video, I'll be trying to help with that by giving you 15 cheap beasts that you can sign in your save. All of these players will have a transfer valuation of around £1 million or under, while still being good players with a high amount of current ability. So with that being said, let's run the intro and check out our picks. Hello everyone, Jake here for FMSCOUT and welcome to another list video where today I'll be taking a look at 15 cheap beasts that you can sign in your save. Now all of these players will obviously be cheap. They also shouldn't have very high wage demands. Now that might not be the case for every player. Some might ask for a little bit more than others depending on the club you're managing and whatnot, but hopefully none of them are completely ridiculous wage fees. All of these players as well either have good potential, good current ability, or maybe they have something particularly stand out about their game, whether it's their ball playing ability or their electric pace. We'll consider all of that in today's video to hopefully give you as many options as possible. If you do enjoy this video, don't forget to smash the like button for us and comment down below your favorite cheap beast and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But with that being said, let's go in to player number one. And we're going to start off with a goalkeeper. It's 21-year-old Moises Ramirez of Independiente del Valle, who I believe are a club out in Ecuador based on the fact that their stadium is in Ecuador. If you can't see some of these players in your save, it might be because you don't have a big enough database loaded, but fear not, all of these players are from a variety of different leagues, so there should be some picks in here for you. But the first thing that stands out about this 21-year-old are his incredible physical attributes, where he's not lacking in anything at all. Great reflexes, aerial reach and command of his area, good one-on-one ability and passing range, and he's pretty good at the sweeper-keeper side of his game as well. Now there are some flaws in his game, but to be able to sign him for £400,000-500,000 is a real bargain and a player that I'm a big fan of and might consider for some of my saves. Next we have a 27-year-old Colombian bargain striker, Jeison Medina. Now obviously you're not going to expect any of these players to be world class, there's a reason they're so cheap, but to be able to pick someone like this up for around £200,000 is a real bargain. He's a very nicely rounded forward, good at the pressing side of the game, so would make a nice pressing forward. He's also good in the air whilst being a decent passer, and he could actually suit complete forward quite well. Don't judge his star ratings too much here, by the way, because we are managing Man City, so he is being compared to Erling Haaland, but 27 years of age, these kind of attributes, he can definitely play at a high level, and to get him for this cheap from Deportivo Pasto, a club in Colombia, and can be a real gem in your saves. Our next player is the youngest in this list and the one that can actually be a Wonderkid. This list isn't focused on Wonderkid type players, it can be anyone, but Fabricio Diaz, I need to bring him up. The reason for this is one, he's pretty cheap and his wages are low. He plays for Liverpool FC out in the Uruguayan divisions, but I managed to sign him for about £1 million for my Aberdeen side. Now as a side note, if you want to check that out, you can find it on my channel, which is linked in the description, where by the way, we're getting very close to 14,000 subscribers. We need about 100 more, so if any of you want to come down and hit that subscribe button, check out the content. I'm sure you'll enjoy yourself, but anyway, we signed Fabricio Diaz, and I thought, yes, he's a great player. He was better than the majority of our squad, but within one season, he's been valued at around £20 million, and we have clubs like Roma, Crystal Palace, amongst many others interested in him. So clearly he can play at a super high level, and you can see why, because his attributes are so well-rounded, there's not really a flaw in his game, and he can play in a bunch of different versatile positions. Now, I've been using him as a deep line playmaker behind the base of my defence, and he's done a fantastic job there. Brilliant passing range, good attacking threat, and really I just needed to point him out because he's so good for how cheap he is. He's actually one of the more expensive options in this list, but I still needed to bring him up. Fabricio Diaz, if you haven't signed him, go do it immediately. For our next player, we're going to left back, and I believe I've spoke about this guy in a separate video before because I really do think he is a great option. I believe he was in a video about transfer listed players where we highlighted him, and I still think he represents great value for money. A bit more expensive than some of the others at £1.6 million and higher wages I would have thought because he is an AC Milan player and therefore his expectation of what he should be paid is higher, but there's a reason for that, and it's because he is a quality quality left back. Physically, he is quick, he is strong, good stamina, and he's going to work hard for you with good work rate. He can cross the ball in well, he can dribble, he can pass, he can tackle, good long throws too. A very, very good left back. Now, there are some flaws in his game. He's not particularly composed, his positioning is slightly weak, and his technique maybe isn't the world's best, but for this kind of money, you're getting a left back who, in my opinion, can play at a Premier League level once he hits the ground running in your team. Those attributes are very good, and he certainly could be a good player for you. If anyone's tried him out, let me know, but he seems like great value for money. Now we head over to Diego Lopes, who plays for LC Sailors, a side in the Singaporean divisions, and I'm sure it's not somewhere where originally you would have looked for a star player, but in terms of a player that can cut in on his right foot and either cross or finish from that left-hand side, inverted winger, inside forward, this Brazilian, Diego Lopes, would be a phenomenal pick because his physical attributes are very strong and everything else is exactly what you'd want. Great passing, vision and technique, his first touch and dribbling are great, finishing, crossing, he's got the lot. Now he's only 28 as well, so he's still got a few years left in the tank, so the fact that you can get him for about 300, 400,000 pounds seems like a real bargain and a player that could play at a pretty high level, I would have thought. He's obviously their star player, but if you can get your hands on him from the club, then you'll be looking at a great player for you who's being linked to the MLS here. I would say he could play in an even better division than that. Yes, he is a little bit on the older side, but he's still got a lot of quality to offer and a few years left in the prime of his career. We're going on a real world tour, we're back to Europe this time, and we are going to, and apologies if I butchered a pronunciation of this, but it's Slovakian side, FC DAC 1904 Dunajaka Streda. I try my best, guys. I try my best. Anyway, this is Hungarian midfielder Zsolt Kalmar, who's 27 years of age and has a bunch of international appearances for his national side. His valuation sees him fall at around the £1 million mark, and his wage demands currently don't look to be that high. Now, physically, he is weak in terms of his acceleration and his agility, but everything else seems to be okay. But really, it's his technical attributes and his mentals where he shines, with great decision-making, teamwork, vision, passing, technique, first touch, finishing, dribbling, crossing corners. I could go on, decent with both feet as well, and able to play a bunch of positions and a bunch of different roles. Super versatile, a bargain player who for a lower level club could be a star player the way that he is here for his side in Slovakia. We head over to Maccabi Haifa, a club out in Israel now, where we're going to take a look at 28-year-old Israeli international Omer Atzili. Now he is number 7 for his club, star player on 10 grand a week, and his valuation will be just under £1 million by the looks of it. But if you do get him, you are getting a very good deal for a player that can cut in from the right onto his left foot with great finishing, crossing, dribbling and first touch. He's not really lacking in any particular area. He's got 15 long shots and he likes to shoot from distance. He has got everything he needs to be an effective presence on that right hand side. But if you wanted to play him somewhere else, this guy is Mr. Versatile. He can play every single position on the pitch other than centre-back and goalkeeper. So maybe you want to train him as a centre-back, I don't know, but either way, this guy is an absolute unit, can play everywhere, and looks like he should do a good job of it no matter what. Next, we have Benfica's centre-back Ferro, an under-21 Portuguese international who is currently playing for Vitesse Arnhem on loan, Vitesse whose shirt I have on the wall there. Now, the thing that I like about this player is even though he's on loan, he has a particular skill set that is very much desirable in FM, and that is he is a bargain player who can pass exceptionally well from centre-back. Often, finding those great ball-playing defenders can be hard, but he has 15 passing, 15 vision, 16 teamwork, 14 technique, the perfect ball player, but then he's actually pretty good at everything else as well. Decent positioning, marking, work rate, tackling, jumping reach, heading ability, first touch. He has got the lot, and for a 25-year-old, he's got years left to play. He's 6'3", and even though there is an optional future fee for Vitesse here, I can't see them playing £5 million for him just because of the way that their budgets work. Maybe they will, but I just think there's a good chance after the first year you'll be able to get him from Benfica, where he does have a little while on his contract, but by the looks of it, his transfer valuation isn't too high. So unless he sets the world alight at Vitesse and becomes their best player, I think you could get a real bargain on him here. Our next player is actually a free agent, and he's not even that old. It's South African wide player Phakamani Mahlambi, who is a free agent at the start of your save, but the reason that I really like him is his electric pace. Now, he has 18 acceleration, 16 pace, really high dribbling as well, and whilst he is weak in a lot of his other areas, if you're looking for someone to make an impact on that right-hand side to sprint past defenders, he could be your man. Now, he spent a lot of time playing in South Africa for a bunch of different teams and has never really settled down, so maybe it's time to give him that opportunity. He is 24 years of age and has 115 current ability, but he actually has 150 potential, so should he get a run in your side, I doubt he'll have a chance to actually reach 150 PA, but there's a chance he can start to close that gap and become a much better player than what you're seeing here, so definitely worth trying to approach to sign him if you can. We're slowly pushing on through this list, over halfway if I remember correctly, and now we have Martin Ellingsen of Molde. He is a Norwegian 27-year-old, very versatile, but ideally you'll be using him at the base of your midfield or in central midfield. He's left-footed, a great passer of the ball who can also tackle well and hold his position, good first touch, crossing and set-piece ability. A real nice player to be able to pick up for such a bargain fee. His wages aren't too high either, his contract is expiring soon, and it's definitely worth checking him out before he signs a new deal and that transfer valuation rises even higher. 5 players to go now, and we have a Football Manager wonderkid of the past. It's Emmanuel Mammana, who plays for River Plate out in Argentina. He has 3 international appearances, and he's made his way back to his original club where he first started all of them years ago. Now, he has only just joined his club, so I don't think you'll be able to get him anytime soon, but he is someone who has a lot of ability. He's already pretty much at the maximum of his potential, so you won't see him get too much better than this, and his transfer valuation can be a little bit higher than £1 million, and his wage demands can also be fairly high. River Plate are a big club, and he is a player that's been listed as a regular starter there, so it's no surprise that his fee is a little bit higher than some of the others, but if you're looking for a good centre-back option with a lot of quality, then Mammana could definitely be your man. But a player that I actually prefer a little bit more is former Czech under-21 international Patrizio Stronati, who plays for Puskás Akadémia out in the Hungarian divisions. Now, the thing that I really like about him, much like where we had Mahlambi earlier with his electric pace, this guy is a dominant force in the air. 17 jumping reach, 18 strength and 17 heading would make him an absolute lethal target from corners. Now, he cannot pass the ball really to save his life, but 15 marking, 14 tackling, 14 work rate, 12 positioning. He has got a lot going for him. Despite his strength and his size, he is actually really quick at 6'4". For a 6'4" player to have 14 acceleration and 11 pace is pretty good. And you can sign him for about £1 million. Definitely a great option to check out in your save, and his contract is expiring at the end of season 1. Into our final 3 players now, and we have a goalkeeper, a Venezuelan 25-year-old with 5 international appearances. He plays for América del Cali, a team out in Colombia, and his name is Zsolt Graterol. Now, he is a very well-rounded goalkeeper, smaller than you might want really at only 6 foot, and maybe doesn't have the aerial ability of some keepers, but despite that small size, he's got good aerial reach, command of his area, and there isn't really an issue with any part of his game, maybe his passing out ability, but everything else is pretty good. He's not overly eccentric or anything like that, and to get a solid keeper like him for about £500,000 at the age of 25 with plenty of years left ahead of him is not something we should sniff our noses at. Arguably the player with the most quality in this list though is Alvaro Fidalgo of Club America, another player that I've spoke about previously in the video before. Now, he's been there for a season or so and did pretty well, and for about £1 million you are getting a player who still has the best years of his career ahead of him still. He can play central midfield or attacking midfield. His physical attributes are nicely well rounded. Yes, he's not great in the air or doesn't have great strength, but everything you'd want for an attacking midfielder is there. Great vision, passing and technique, not just great actually, exceptional passing and vision, great first touch, dribbling, finishing, a technical whiz who at one point was part of Spain's under-21s team. He was at Real Madrid for years where he played for their B team, and now he's getting a go at Club America. But maybe it's time to bring him to your club so he can run the show from midfield. And our final player is a right back who, again, I think I spoke about in a previous video. It's Alfons Sampsted of Bodo Glimt, who, mean, you can see why I spoke about him. For such a small fee of about £200,000, you are getting an Icelandic international who's still got 10 years or so left ahead of him in his career, who has brilliant work rate and teamwork, whilst having great physical attributes and the stamina to get up and down that pitch for ages, good positioning, passing, crossing, dribbling. He's not the world's best right back, but for this kind of fee, in this bracket, I would imagine he's the best that you can get. A really good player who's certainly worth such a small investment, playing for Bodo out in the Norwegian divisions. Definitely go check him out. What a star he is. And there we go, guys. That is our list of cheap beasts in FM23. If you have found some use out of this video, smash the like button for us, subscribe for more content like this, and let me know what cheap beasts you've signed so we can have a big list of them in the comments down below. Check out my channel, linked in the description, and help us get to 14k subs if you're feeling like a nice person. But most of all, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, and goodbye.